So it seems as if the left has not learned their lesson. Honestly, it's pretty entertaining to watch. Gives me something to talk about on a daily basis, right? But in today's video, we have Cenk Uygur and Charlie Kirk, who recently sat down and had a conversation with one another. Obviously, Charlie Kirk being on the right, Cenk being on the left. Well, some people on the left have a major problem with that. No surprise, right? No surprise. The party of love and tolerance isn't so tolerant when you disagree with them, including when someone who has been a megaphone for the left, like Cenk Uygur, including when someone like him even disagrees slightly, they come after him. And honestly, I encourage them to continue to push people away from your party, because you're just pushing more and more people to us, like Joe Rogan and like Elon Musk, along with Lindy Lee, who fundraised millions of dollars for the Kamala campaign. I recently made a video about that, her talking about, hey, I may be moving to the right, and hey, to Lindy Lee, welcome. Hey, come on over. The more the merrier, baby. The more the merrier. But like I said, we have a guy by the name of Jesse Dollamore who has a YouTube channel, almost 900,000 subscribers, so not a small channel by any means. He has a major issue with Cenk talking to Charlie Kirk, because apparently Charlie Kirk is a Nazi. So with that being said, let's dive in.
So you got to know what to convince the American people of and what to hold your ground on. And the number one thing to hold your ground on is constitutional rights. So I'm going to do some...
Like the Second Amendment.
Got him.
So, no, I know. So guys, look at that. We totally disagree on that issue, but we just...
You were asking for that one, I'm sorry.
No problem. No, but look, but that was an important moment, because we totally disagree on that issue, but we just shook hands anyway. And you know what we'll do afterwards? We'll have a beer. So, you know what it is when you disagree on something and then you fight about it and then you have a beer afterwards? That's called America.
See, folks like ourselves, we can agree with that. We can agree to disagree on a lot of things. We can have, and I talked about this in a recent video. I love having spirited debates. I love, getting into it with people on the opposite side of the aisle and letting it get spirited, right? But at the end of the conversation, we shaking hands. It ain't going to be no love lost. I mean, it's not going to be any animosity between us two. Like, I'm not about to fight you because we disagree, but we going to have a spirited debate, 1,000%, 100%. And I'm not going to shy away from it. I'm not going to back down. Right? I recently got into a debate with someone, and they raised their voice, I raised my voice. So for a little while there, to anybody on the outside, it may have looked like we were getting ready to get into an altercation. Nah, we just were in a spirited debate. There was a little yelling, there was a little shouting, tempers flared just a little bit. People got passionate. Okay, I get that, no problem. I can raise the temperature to a little bit, but at the end of the day, we shook hands. It's all love, brother. That's the way that it should be. Now, maybe not necessarily the yelling. You could do without that. But at the end of the day, we shake hands. We shake hands. Love you, bro. Simple. Like, that's not a complicated concept. That's not a complicated thing to do. But check out what this guy has to say, man. It's not surprising coming from the left, but check it out.
Look, this isn't about finding common ground. If Adolf Hitler said, look, I like oxygen, it's good, it helps me live, you wouldn't say, well, look, there are some things that I agree with Hitler about. You don't need to do that. You don't need to find common ground with people who want to destroy democracy, with a party that endeavored to end democracy in America, literally attacked, had a failed coup attempt with their...
Where in the Constitution does it say democracy? I'll wait. What about the Pledge of Allegiance? What does that say? I pledge allegiance to the flag, the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands. It doesn't say into the democracy for which it stands. And a final thing. Are presidents elected by popular vote? Isn't that what happens in a democracy, though? Yeah, I don't think we live in a democracy. I'm just saying, maybe it's just me. I don't know. These folks on the left keep saying democracy, 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 but our presidents aren't elected by popular vote like they would be in a democracy. Doesn't matter if you win the popular vote. Now, our candidate happened to win the popular vote this time around, but in 2016 he didn't, but he was still president. So how does that work? I thought in a democracy, just the popular vote wins. Oh. What about the Pledge of Allegiance? Like, if we lived in a democracy, wouldn't it say into the democracy for which it stands instead of to the republic for which it stands? I don't know. Maybe I'm an idiot or something. Y'all let me know. I don't know. Talk to me.
Their insurrection at the Capitol on January 6, 2021. Why shake hands and say, we can go get a beer because now, yeah, we can disagree. When your disagreements are about people's right to exist, human rights, about participation in the democratic process, that's a bridge too. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I don't glad hand with white supremacists, with racists. I don't break bread with racists. I don't have beers with racists. Apparently, the people Cenk chooses to sup with, to cavort with, are just different than me. He has a different tolerance level for vile white supremacy and white Christian nationalism, which Charlie Kirk represents. I used to, decades ago, when I was a young Republican, I used to say things like what Cenk just said. Like, well, we could disagree. I don't get angry about politics. I just have a different opinion than you. And I came to kind of realize that was because I had no skin in the game. Cenk is a wildly wealthy man. The Donald Trump administration isn't going to come for him. In fact, he'll benefit from the Trump administration tax policies because he's a rich man. And when I was a young Republican, I was a white Marine, middle class. I held privilege in my existence. I carried with me privilege.
That right there is racist. Isn't that interesting? He just talked about Charlie Kirk being racist and all, everybody on the right, being racist, basically. But the fact that you came out here and said, because of the color of my skin, I have privilege over you, Rich. Isn't that by definition racist? You think you're better than me because of the color of your skin. You have privilege. Well, let me tell you something. You don't have anything over me. Anything you can do, I can do better. I don't give a fuck about your skin color. It means absolutely nothing. The fact that you think that you're better because you're white means you are racist. Like, this thing doesn't make any sense to me with these people on the left. I have so much privilege because I'm white. And these people on the right, they're racist. No, you're the racist. You are. The people on the right, those white folks, they just say, hey, everybody's got a fair shot. Don't matter if you're white, black, blue, purple, tall, short, fat, skinny, gay, straight, don't matter. Everybody's got a fair shot, and that's the way we should treat everybody. Nobody should have any privilege over anybody else. Nobody. Nobody should be giving preferential treatment over anybody else. Example, DEI. We should get rid of DEI. Everybody plays on the same playing field, simple and plain. I don't have any privilege over you because I'm white. You shouldn't have any advantage over me because you're black. Simple. But these people on the left, because I'm white, I've got privilege over the black people. We have to give black people opportunities. Who are you to give me any fucking thing? Who said that I wanted anything from you or that I needed? The fact that you think that I need your help to succeed lets me know what you think of me. You think that I am less than you. It's, oh my gosh, this stuff is ridiculous, man. It's these folks that are the racist. 1,000%. 100%. But carry on.
So I could be a Republican and support Republican policies because they weren't going to hurt me. I had no skin in the game. I'm not black. I'm not being oppressed. I'm not being boxed out of the franchise of democracy. I'm not gay. I'm not being oppressed. I'm not being told you're not fully equal. You're not fully American. You can't fully actualize and realize.
The only people telling black people that they can't are racist white people on the left like yourself, like you just did. Do I wake up every morning and say, oh, I'm being oppressed? No. Anything you can do, I can do better. Simple.
The bounty that is America. But apparently, Cenk is so simplistic in his thought, he doesn't work through that. He's okay with sharing a stage, hyperbole or not, he's a Nazi. He is most certainly a white supremacist. He is most certainly an anti-Semite. We could put together a collection of some vile things that Charlie Kirk has said, many of which would get the videos demonetized. That's the kind of character we're dealing with here, that Cenk Uygur made a decision to go and bolster the roster of guests at this Nazification of America festival, choose to be there. It's one thing if you go on Piers Morgan with a bunch of these dipshits. It's another thing entirely to appear as a guest on stage to legitimize their movement, to offer congratulations on a revolution well done, Charlie Kirk.
And this is another thing. We don't need anybody on the left to legitimize the movement. You do realize we won, right? Did you forget? Like, we took the W, you lost, and not only did you lose, but you lost. It wasn't even close. Every single swing state, yeah, every single one, clean sweep. And on top of that, Trump did something that he really didn't even have to do. He won the popular vote on top of that. What a coinky dink. So we need you to legitimize us, but we won. Why would we need that? But you see what I'm saying? Like, people on the left think that they're inherently better than everybody else. Oh, we need to legitimize them. Us on the left, we have to legitimize the people on the right because they're not legit. Me as a white person, this just came out of his mouth. Y'all heard it. I'm better than black people. I have privilege. Look, what? These people, man, it's honestly amazing. But then they accuse everybody else of being racist and being terrible people. But if you listen to the stuff that comes out of their mouth, they're actually the terrible ones.
We have a traitor issue in our politics today. Anticipatory obedience. What is the end goal for Cenk Uygur here? This veering to the right, him and his co-host Anna Kasparian, their bigotry about homelessness, their fear-mongering about crime that doesn't materialize, their bigotry about trans rights not being human rights in their eyes. It's gross. And they're giving aid and comfort to the enemy. And I don't use the word enemy lightly. These people are our enemies.
Okay.
It's not just a difference of opinion. If it was just tax policy, fine. If it's just gun policy, okay. It's not. It is about people's right to exist. It's about women's access access to health care. They want to fundamentally, structurally change our culture and our society. And Cenk Uygur apparently is here for it. He's here to legitimize it as just a difference of opinion. I'm not here for it. Are you?
You see what I mean? Love and tolerance, but we're now enemies living in the same country. You know, the last time that one side considered the other side complete enemies in the same country, you know, didn't we have something called like a civil war? Just saying. I'm just saying. And isn't it interesting that one side believes in the Second Amendment and the other side doesn't? But now we're enemies, so you know what? I'm not advocating for any of that, but it's just like foolishness. We're enemies? We're enemies. We're enemies, but we're neighbors. So how does that work? There's so much I could say about that. There's so much I could say. Either you're a coward or you don't actually mean it. Because if you're truly enemies, but we're neighbors, like y'all see what I'm saying? Like that just isn't adding up. You're neighbors with your enemy, but like you haven't done anything. So either you're a coward or you don't actually mean it. I think it's a mix of both, but hey, what do I know? Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Like this stuff has just gotten absolutely ridiculous. We're enemies. We're not enemies. We disagree, sure, but we're not enemies. And I don't think you want to go down that route. Because look, it's okay if they say, "Oh yeah, we're enemies, blah blah blah. We have to delegitimize these folks. We have to." Remember they were saying we have to deprogram the right. It's cool if they say all this crazy nonsensical stuff. Like it's cool if they say it, but you let somebody on the right say something like that. Oh my goodness, it's the end of the world. They're trying to start a civil war. But you just heard that come out of this guy's mouth. We're enemies. So what does that mean? Because last time I checked, when you're enemies with someone, you go to battle. So is that what you're saying? Is that what you're advocating for? Violence? But we're the horrible people. I don't know. I haven't heard anybody on the right saying, "Hey, we're enemies. We gotta clash." Like, no. That would be devastating for the entire country. Not just the left, but the entire country that would be devastating for. Simply because we disagree. Now we're all of a sudden enemies. That's what they think. And yet you had people like Hillary Clinton saying, we're the ones that need to be deprogrammed. People on the right are the ones that need to be deprogrammed. No, I think it's folks on the left that need to be deprogrammed. If they think we're enemies and we need to clash with one another, even though we're neighbors, some of us family, some of us longtime friends, if you think that we're enemies and we have to clash with each other, no, Hillary, you're completely wrong. It's your side that needs that deprogramming you were talking about. As a matter of fact, Jamie Raskin said the same thing, I believe. Yeah. I believe there was an interview, a guy caught him like walking into a building. Some of you probably remember the clip. I believe that was that clip. And he mentioned that. It's not us. It's them that need to, that deprogramming that Jamie Raskin was talking about or Hillary Clinton was talking about. I'm not advocating for it. It's the people on the left that were advocating for it. For us to give it to us, but you know, clearly they're the ones that need it. But hey, I can't say I'm surprised by these things. Can't say I'm surprised. The arrogance, I'm better than you because I'm white. I'm better than you because I'm on the left. We need to legitimize you, okay? And to put the icing on the cake, the cherry on top, we're enemies. What? No, we're not. No, we're not. We're neighbors. We're friends. Some of us family. But most of all, we're Americans. We're all in this together. Not enemies. We're allowed to disagree. That doesn't make us enemies. It's ridiculous talk. Crazy talk. Anyway, I'm out, y'all. Let me know what you think. Peace and love.